Hello, all benders and non-benders, and welcome back to Avatar Generations. Today, we have got a plethora of new stuff to talk about here. A new event based on the Pirate Queen, Tegaka herself from the Kyoshi timeline, and a whole lot of rewards we can get. So let's get into it right now. Right out the gate, we have got another 14-day login event with some very interesting rewards here. First of all, we have some nature stones here, always good, totaling to about 350. Never a bad thing. We do have a little bit more timeline currency as well. Always useful if you're trying to get those tickets, or maybe you're trying to get the new defense set. Never bad at all. We have some more Kyoshi coins, which we will be able to spend on some new things, as we will talk about in a second here. But we do have a very interesting item here on day 14. The 5-star Avatar Timelines ticket. Summoning ticket that can be used on the Guaranteed Avatar Timeline banner. I don't know what banner this is. I don't know who's going to be on this banner. It'll probably be one of the Kyoshi timeline characters, I would imagine. But basically, looks like at the end of 14 days, we're going to get basically a free 5-star, which is always good. Who that 5-star will be, I have no idea. But a free 5-star is coming. So very cool stuff there. Of course, we got the Pirate Queen over there with their own little bundle there. And now we're going to talk about the events. We have 2 pages of events now. We have Boundless Journey, and we have Marquis of the Sea. So, Boundless Journey here, we're going to take a look at that first. The line of missions just for completing all the other challenges, that gives you nature stones. I almost said adventure stones. Nature stones, looks like that's going to total up to 300. And then going through here, looks like it's just playing the game, basically. We've got battle nodes, resource nodes, time nodes, completing adventures. We do get some timeline currency, never a bad thing, just for spending energy. And then we have spending adventure points, just spending them in the shop. Always plenty of options for that. And spending adventure points will get you even more adventure points. So some very easy challenges here for some very good loot. Boss materials are never a bad thing because I have burned my boss tokens. So I need some more. So this will be helpful. Now we do have another page here based on the Pirate Queen. The main reward here is going to be the Kyoshi coins, even more of those. And then we have a few quests here, kind of based around pirates and the Fifth Nation faction. We have completing adventures with Fifth Nation faction heroes, clearing the pirate domain battles, which is just the money stages, doing battles in the pirates domain with Fifth Nation characters. Very simple stuff there, that's pretty easy. Win battles with the Destruction art set. Now, I believe that's the... Is that the crit damage one? I could be wrong about that. We'll have to check on that in a second here. Win battles with the Destruction art set, the Rebellion art set, and the Justice art set. Now, the Justice art set is the one that's currently available for timeline currency, which means you will have to fork out a little bit of timeline currency to get at least 2 parts of that relic set. But the reward for that is a very healthy number of nature stones. So if you ask me, I call that a pretty good trade. We also have just spending gold. That'll get you some energy. Again, spending gold gets you arena tickets. And then we have earning some food and completing adventures with Fifth Nation characters. Good stuff. And nice thing is, we are going to have some free-to-play Fifth Nation characters in a second here that we shall see in the shop. So, basically, Fifth Nation characters doing battles in the pirate domain and making sure to be using these particular sets when you're in the pirate domain. Now, if you take a look at the shop here, we got loot. We got loot. So, you'll notice there's actually 2 sides to this. There's rewards you can buy with gold, And there's rewards you can buy with the Kyoshi coins. On the gold side here, you get 3 of this new 4-star relic here, which is a 50% chance to inflict a rank 3 water element on a random enemy for 2 turns when the caster defeats any enemy, and this actually ignores resistance. So I imagine this is going to shoot up to 100 at maximum tier, and it's usable on any waterbender. Very much screaming the Pirate Queen. We'll kind of see how her kit works in a second here. Clearly this is meant to be a strong contender for her, but there are a few people this could be good on, so good to keep in mind there. We have 6 summon tickets here, 3 per account, and you can get 2 at a time for 500k gold. Some skip tickets, if you're really down bad on that, I am not, but if you're short on those, that is an option. We do have a new 4-star character here from the event shop, a firebending pirate. He says this rapidly supercharges his allies to coordinate powerful combo attacks. He increases his team speed and generates focus by landing critical hits. So a brand new character to talk about, always good. We can also get just a relic ticket here, always good. Now then, you'll kind of notice here, you got 3 from this, you got 3 from this. The other half of that is for the Kyoshi coins. You get another 3 frozen pledges for Kyoshi coins. You get 4 more summon tickets, bringing that up to a nice even 10. And you get 3 more of the pirate here. So yeah. And then one more ticket here, a support ticket this time. So hey, freebies. We like freebies. We like freebies a lot, and there is a plethora. And of course, this one is still live as well. So if there's anything here you still wanted to get, that is still available. So that's the events. We're just going to peruse the summon shop real quick. We do have some new items here in the featured. We do have the Blade of Tegaka here. This was the same relic that was featured in the Kiwak Powerful Opponent banner. So you might already have a few copies of these. I know I do. If you have 25 spare 4-star duplicate tokens, that's not bad. Also, we have the 5-star Tweet and Law support. This is a very good one for water element heroes, as it does increase just their straight up damage by 25%, or rather their attack by 25%. I will say it has a fair number of competition, especially from the Snow Leopard. That one is pretty good because not only is it extremely free to play friendly, but it increases the ever important speed stat. Just kind of something to keep in mind there. While this is certainly a great item, and maybe you have a few of Twin Law already and you want to get it powered up even more, just kind of keep in mind that it's not strictly necessary. So yeah, some very cool stuff there. And then of course we gotta talk about the summon banner that is available. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I love Tegaka's design. I think she looks seriously cool and menacing. Absolutely love it. First thing, huge thing to talk about here. This banner is only 120. I kind of mentioned at the very beginning of this Kyoshi update that I wasn't sure if it was going to be 200 or 120 for like these more single banners. This one, of course, is 200. This was a special case. This one, though, and it seems like this is going to be the case for most single character banners that come in the middle of updates, is only 120. Absolutely fantastic if you're playing this game on a budget. But let's see what we've got here. Funny enough, we have another just generic pirate here, which is pretty cool. But of course we have Tegaka and Tegaka's cutter. So let's talk about her real quick. The Pirate Queen. If you have fought her in the story or in the new Stage 6 Pirate domain, you might have already gotten a look at her kit. But does some very cool stuff, some powerful AoE damage. Glacial Waves is her basic. Deals splash damage to all enemies, which basically inflicts a random enemy with the water element if the enemy she's attacking has a water element on them, which in this case would be everybody because it's an AoE attack. So if one of them has the water element, she will inflict the water element onto somebody else. If there's multiple water elements around, this can really, well, no pun intended, but turn into a tidal wave of water element effects. So very cool stuff there. And then this attack does ignore damage reduction, never a bad thing. And then gains a random defensive buff for each pirate faction ally on the caster's team. So if she has a bunch of pirates on her team, then she will get some defensive buffs. Taking a look at her advanced, Marquis of the Sea deals 3 hits of fierce damage to all enemies, which is another one that ignores damage reduction, so she doesn't have to worry about that sort of thing. And then has a 35% chance to increase the rank of water element effects by 1 each hit. Gain a random offensive buff for each rebel faction ally on the caster's team for 2 turns. So basically, it will attack 3 times, and each of those hits has a 35% chance to increase an existing water element effect by 1. So if there is already a water element on there, 2 of those hits, if they proc that effect and she's got enough accuracy, they will become much worse for the enemy. And then you'll kind of notice here, Shared Spoils is her passive, grants skill nullified to all allies when any enemy is inflicted with a rank 3 water element. So basically, skill nullify means that that person that's buffed is just going to straight up dodge the next attack. No questions asked, just straight up dodge it. It does have a pretty hefty cooldown at 3 turns, but considering it's just giving the whole team the ability to dodge, I can see why. I would imagine this will also have some skill mastery, which when we do summon her and then do an analysis of her, we will get into. Now, we do, funny enough, have a 4-star pirate in the banner as well. A 4-star character this time around. And we have Anchored Strike. Deals amplify damage to 1 enemy, which basically has a chance to increase the duration of elemental effects on them, with a 25% chance to reduce the turn meter of the enemy by 25% if they are stunned, knocked down, or frozen. So some interesting little effects there. Nothing too crazy. The percentages of that happening are pretty low and has the pretty hefty conditions of being stunned, knocked down, or frozen. But some cool stuff there. Taking a look at his advanced here, Chop and Drop Caltrops. Deals impaired damage to all enemies. This will randomly decrease the speed, focus, or turn bar of the enemy that he's hitting. And then a 50% chance to inflict an ensnared state on each enemy for 1 turn. Ensnared is interesting because it makes the enemy take additional penetrating damage equal to 10% of the affected target's max HP when attacked. So basically whenever the person with that debuff is attacked, they take 10% of their health as damage, which is noteworthy, and then a 75% chance to become knocked down for 1 turn after using an attack. So basically, they would take their turn, and then once they've taken their turn, they have a high chance of just getting knocked down, and that would cause them to lose their next turn. Interesting stuff here. The basic isn't anything too crazy, but this advanced is worth mentioning. This one could actually play very well depending on the team he's with. And then No Quarter is his passive, decreases resistance of enemies who are stunned, knocked down, or frozen by 50% for 1 turn, and this ignores resistance. We know how resistance has been a bit of a pain lately in Arena. Resistance stats going through the roof on Iroh and other characters. This does chop at that a little bit. I don't think this is going to make him viable for Arena, but it is worth at least keeping in mind. It's worth a glance. And then we do have, of course, the current relic, which is just a freaking boat. A 35% chance to inflict the water element on each enemy for 2 turns when the caster uses an attack that damages all enemies at once. You can already probably see how this does pair very well with her AoE-based kit. Whenever she uses that AoE, she would have a chance to inflict that water element. Interesting thing here with this relic. It is required that the holder of this relic be both offensive and a water element. You would think this is a harsh restriction, except that pretty much all of the best waterbenders in the game are also offensive heroes. I would like to submit the exhibit of Bending Master Katara as well as Paku. Once again, offense. Really not going to slow it down at all if you wanted to be creative with how you use the relic. If you wanted to use it on 5-star Katara or Paku, you can absolutely do that and try out some team building effects. Just taking a look at the banner here, it's a 3% chance for a 5-star. That last 0.5 is divided up between these 4 supports. And then, of course, Tegaka with 1% and Tegaka's Cutter for 1.5%. So very standard rates there, and then everything else is just normal. So yeah, would I think that she is worth it? I absolutely want to give her a try. I mean, she sounds like she is an extremely powerful waterbender. And if you're like me and you didn't summon on any waterbender events previously, you might be a little more down bad for a seriously strong waterbender, and I do not think she is going to be lacking in that regard. Just keep in mind, though, she will be in the game for 2 weeks, so if you wanted to kind of get an idea of what else is coming before summoning, you do have a little bit of time for that. Also, the Rise of Kyoshi banner is still going to be here for the next 3 weeks. And of course, that one being a much more expensive banner, needing 200 pity, and having 2 characters, definitely something to keep in mind as far as where you want to put your resources. I won't say one way or the other which one is better, although Kyoshi has certainly proven herself to be an extremely powerful character. She's powerful, and I am very confident her vengeance state is bugged, and yet she is still strong. So just something to keep in mind there. There is a lot of competition for your tickets. But yeah, so that is what we've got for the event here. An absolute ton of loot that we can all receive, and a very cool character that I think she's cool. What can I say? I don't know any specific details about her character necessarily. I do want to read the books very soon, but all I know is that she skewered that one guy with the hat, and that was neat. So yeah, that is all we have for today, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.